What is up? So in this video, I wanted to go over because we've just went by the last, 2, 3 months, depending on what you got, um, and they've been kind of low as booksellers. If you haven't noticed, I'm sure that everyone suffered in February. I suffered in March as well, and a little bit in April. Um, May has finally been picking back up. It's definitely been, you know. uh, ups and downs in the last few months. And the last few months, you have to expect that that's going to happen if you're solely a bookseller. And in this video, I wanted to go over like how can you mitigate that? Like there are ways you can do it. For me, I've decided to try to go off of Amazon and sell something completely different. I'm selling, pretty much mainly DVDs on eBay and Pokemon cards on eBay as well. So you don't have to necessarily do that. You can stay on Amazon, but you are going to have to change things up. You are going to have to get other products in there that will help mitigate that. I I believe that DVDs and CDs would definitely help that. I don't think that they'll take a big suffering from that, but I do believe that they won't help you out as much as you think, because they kind of have the same trajectory as books. They spike in December and January, and then everybody spends all their money, and then they fall off in February. This last year, I knew that it was going to happen, and I tried to kind of prepare for it by buying Valentine's books. But it's just not the same as Christmas books. You can buy them and you will sell them, but there's just one, not as many, and two, there's it just doesn't sell as fast. I feel like I need to kind of branch out and try to do other things. I am not I'm learning on eBay how to kind of mitigate that. um, I'm not completely convinced that that's how I'm going to do it. I'm definitely going to be trying to stay on Amazon with it and trying to find books that sell in that time and find um, other things that sell in that time, like DVDs and CDs and stuff. Uh, I'm actually thinking about looking into eBay to Amazon new flips. Like, I don't know if anybody knows Rake and Profit on the YouTube channel. If anybody knows, most people who are in this space know who that is. Um, but he's kind of doing like a eBay to Amazon course, and I'm kind of debating whether or not to try it out just to see, if that is something I would like to go down. Because it does seem that if you can get into the new products, that will definitely help your the low months for books. Because you have to know that that at least February is going to be a low month. No matter how many books you have in stock, no matter what books you're selling, February is kind of like everybody went crazy buying in December, and then for books, at least January does almost better than December because of all the textbooks. And so people are buying and buying and buying and buying for 3 months straight, and then they kind of have this lull period where they're like, okay, I gotta calm down on buying stuff. And it's a real thing. And books suffer a lot, because once who wants to buy, if you need to save money and you're thinking, all right, I need to cut back on my expenses, like books is probably one of the first things that you're thinking about. And that makes sense. Like, you don't need no more books. You got plenty, for most people at least. So I think that, to mitigate February and March, which is going to be your big two, and then a little bit of April, to mitigate those, I think that you need to find other products to help you. It doesn't have to be any certain products. I'm finding out that, the Pokemon card route that I tried to go with, it ain't really working out like I thought it would. So I'm probably not going to be continuing that route for very much longer. DVDs and CDs are massive. If you are a bookseller, you should definitely be getting into DVDs and CDs because it it's pretty much the same thing as books. It's, you know, they're looked at as kind of valueless, and but there's tons of value in it, especially the ones that aren't being printed anymore and aren't on the streaming services. You know, if someone could just hop on Netflix and watch it, probably isn't gonna be worth a whole lot. But if you can find those, DVDs that are, you know, out of print and, you know, have kinda like this cult following almost, those are gonna be the ones that you wanna look for. Those are the ones that are gonna bring you the biggest money, but you can still find, like, the ones that are only going for, like, 20 bucks if you can get them cheap enough. Obviously, if you're cherry picking at, like, thrift stores and stuff, it's easy. If you're going online, though, you're gonna have to find them shoot, like, below $6 in order to make it worth it, to make, you know, a sell at $20 worth it. So, that's what the main thing of this video that I kinda wanted to get across is, if you're a bookseller and you haven't gone through a February yet or a March, expect that, you know, you're gonna go through this rush of sales in December and January, and then February is gonna come and you'll be like, "What in the world? Why did my sales drop off so much?" And know that it's just part of the game, the book selling game. And I mean, learn from it and try to prepare for it next year to get some other products in that will help kind of level out your sales. Because February, it's a shock when you first go through it because you have that high of December, January, and then whenever you have that lull, you're thinking like, "What am I doing wrong?" And you're not doing anything wrong. You're just going through the ebbs and flows of, you know, the market. And February, March, man, they they're rough, you know? I've heard people that have good success in mitigating March with books and stuff, probably leaning more into, like, the seasonal books for, like, gardening and the springtime books and stuff. There's a lot of that. You can definitely mitigate that, but February is a tough one. It's kind of in that mid period where there's not really much going on. Valentine's Day, I did sell a few Valentine's books, but it just didn't fly off the shelves. Not like, not like Christmas books or anything. It's just you just can't compare it. So in my opinion, if you're wanting to mitigate the February lull in book sales, you gotta implement some other products. For me, I think I am gonna try to look at the new products where I'm flipping from eBay to Amazon. I have done like traditional online arbitrage and I sucked at it. I didn't do good. You can actually go back and watch the videos at the beginning of this channel and see my naivety, I guess that's how you say that. Um I I thought I was going to be a wholesale master, you know. But we've changed a lot in the last what 7 8 months since I started this channel. Um but I do think that the eBay to Amazon has some validity to it just because the margins are a lot bigger than traditional online arbitrage. And that was the main thing that killed me was my margins were too low, and I just wasn't able to squeeze it out. But the eBay to Amazon thing might be something I might look into. May just take his course, and then kind of feel how it is, you know, see if I can get behind it. I think it's like $400, which, you know, sucks, but, you know, for education, I'm at the point where I would rather pay for the education than watch, you know, hundreds of hours of YouTube videos to kind of grasp the concept. Rather just pay the money, get get it all lined up for you so you can figure it out. But that's kind of what I wanted to go over though. Just kind of wanted to get on here and talk about the lulls because we just went through, you know, for me, the last 3 months have been pretty rough. And I don't know if my inventory, I think I was sitting at starting February, I think I was sitting at 600 books, and I've kind of grown to like 800 now in May. So I was probably in the 700 round range in April. Um, and so that might also play a factor into why my February, March, and April was so low, and I wasn't, really looking at, springtime books, I guess. This year, I've tracked everything all the way up until, now, obviously, but from September up until now in May, I've tracked everything so that next year, I'll be able to go back and look at exactly what sold each month. And, like, May, there's been several, gardening books that I've sold that I think I'll be able to also capitalize in April if I, kinda look into the gardening stuff more. But you definitely wanna kinda lean into the seasonal stuff, in, March, April, and May, that way you can kind of mitigate the lulls in the sales that do come, um and that's is part of the business too, like, you gotta understand that, but books you can kinda predict a little bit better, you can kinda see when school's gonna be in, you can, like, May, a ton of textbooks have been selling because, summer school for college and high school textbooks, believe it or not, they start selling right now, and they'll be selling up until August comes, and obviously, they'll ramp up until till August comes, but you can kinda see where it's gonna happen. I've got a calendar right here, that's why I keep looking over here. But, you can kinda see where the book sales are gonna be coming, when they're not, and February and a little bit of March, it's definitely the period where you're gonna have to kinda expect, low sales or try to find something else to sell. But that's it, guys. Thanks for watching, and, we'll catch you on the next one. Later.